Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of our conversation. Today, we are picking up from where we broke off last time in my prison story. Last time, I talked about the letter that we wrote to the Minister of Justice and how he had no courtesy of even responding. It took another 2 years from 2017 for us to be informed of what offense we were accused of. So in 2019, we were served with a document called a Décision de Renvoi that formally communicated to us the case that we were accused of. So in this document, we were accused of participating in an insurrectionary movement, the M23. And it went on to elaborate that on a date and month that were unknown, we and other people had participated in attacking government installations in 2013 with the objective of overthrowing the government of DRC. Now, this Décision de Renvoi that was served was brought against the backdrop of the changes in political leadership that had happened in Congo in 2019. Because in that year, Joseph Kabila handed over power to a new president, Felix Tshisekedi, who in his inaugural speech promised to release all political prisoners unconditionally. But because he was in a coalition with the outgoing government, and because he was the minority in this coalition, many of the reforms that he promised were overruled by his partners, including the release of prisoners. So what they settled for was that all those that had not been taken to court should be taken. And that's how we got these documents formally communicating to us what offense we were supposed to be coming up against in the courts of law. So my colleagues were served with these documents together with other prisoners that we had found in jail, most of whom were from Rwanda and a few from Uganda. So mine came much later when they were served. Then later, they were also now given a notification to appear before court. And their case commenced in late 2019 before I could get my own Décision de Renvoi. I got mine when they had already started their court process. Before the court process could go far, the corona epidemic set in, and we were all forced into lockdown, and all court processes were halted. So it took more than 1 year for the court processes to resume. And by the time they resumed, I had also already gotten my notification to go to court. Therefore, because we had been separated, it meant that we were appearing in court at different times, though we were charged with the same offense. So we were on different file numbers, but charged with the same offense. To get a view of what happens in a military tribunal in Congo, one would need to appreciate first that the tribunals, the courts, sit in a prison. So the playground and every other available space is reserved for court. They set up tents because there are very many courts that take place simultaneously. So the playground is turned into a court area. They set up tents and every jurisdiction gets its area. Even the canteen area, it's called the mess, where both prison warders and prisoners go to buy stuff, and some of them to even take beer and all kinds of things, is also reserved, that court in front of the mess. So when you get to court, court ordinarily is supposed to start at 9, but the roster will come in, the court roar will come inside the prison, and they call out the names of those people that have court that day. So you are all extracted and you prepare to go to court. So when you get there, you find where your jurisdiction is and you take your seats. Now, because it's a tribunal, the judges are 5. There is the lead judge called the president of the court, and then the assessors. There is the court clerk and the prosecutor. So in all, there are 7 people. 5 judges, the court clerk, and the prosecutor. So for court to commence, all of them must be present. If any of them misses, then that day you miss court. And it was always very difficult to have all of the 7 present for court to start. So that always created delays, and then you are adjourned, which is really disheartening in jail. Then secondly, the courts never start on time. You are extracted at 10, you come and take your seats, and then all these people, everyone comes at their own time. By the time the bench is constituted, fully constituted, you are coming to 2. So when they come, as they wait for their colleagues, some of them will buy beer and that very hard alcoholic stuff, they call it rotoko, boma mama. They have these sackets of waraji called boma mama. Boma mama means kill my mother. So the judge that is supposed to preside over your case is there taking alcohol before he or she comes to court. Now, you can imagine what comes up in your mind, because this is a case, a very heavy case that carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment or 20 years and and such kind of, heavy sentence, and the person that is supposed to preside it is taking alcohol before listening to you. So it was such a big challenge, and it really shattered all the illusions that we had about getting a fair trial. So we commenced. Fortunately, we were in touch with our comrades in Kampala who helped us to get lawyers, and we managed to put up a spirited defense to prove that actually we are not M23, and we pointed out the contradiction that we who are opponents of Museveni, who have run away from Museveni's brutal regime, should be accused of belonging to an organization that is known to be supported by Museveni. Because remember that by the time we ran away, the leadership and rank and file of M23 was in Uganda. So while we were running away from Uganda, these people were running to Uganda and were very honored guests of the Ugandan state. So we made our case, but like all military tribunals handling political cases, the whole process is more of a show and nothing substantive about justice. It was just another show trial. The environment itself of court was really not friendly. Like I have pointed out just one aspect. And the process really dragged on because of the very numerous adjournments. They come late. Even when they come late, they adjourn because the quorum is not fully constituted. Those who were in the tents, you have goats running all over, chickens, because some of the prison warders rear goats. So you are seated in a court and then you have a goat running all around, or chickens pecking at the feet of judges and other people in court. But all in all, we were happy that at last we had our day in court, because not many people got that chance. Today we break off at that point. We will pick up from there in our next episode. Thank you very much for following. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, do so and invite your friends to do the same. May God bless you.